Once upon a time, there was a city, one with immense untapped potential. It was young, just a kid of a place, a blank canvas, free to be who and whatever it wanted to be, only didn't quite know what that was. If this city wasn't careful, if it didn't open its eyes to the incredible opportunity before it, it risked squandering its immense potential. Luckily for this city, there was a practice. Not just any practice, but a salsa practice. A place that holds the key to unlocking our true potential, one dance move at a time.
The Toronto Salsa Practice wasn't called the Toronto Salsa Practice for the first few years of its life. It began in January of 2001 when I was in a beginner salsa class, and I asked another guy and two women from my class to stay. For the first few weeks it was just the four of us, and then after a few weeks somebody else from our class or a couple of people from our class, and then a few weeks after that, people from other classes at the same school, and then for a while I was asking everybody to not tell anybody about it because it was getting too big. But that didn't work at all.
Before long, people were lining up out the door to get in, and something far greater than the organizers had ever imagined was taking place. What started out as a gathering of only 4 people had turned into a weekly event of over 200. For over 13 years now, people from all corners of the city and around the world gathered to move to the Latin beats of salsa. There, in the middle of the dance floor, in a church, on a Saturday afternoon in the annex, who and what we were becoming as a people was taking shape on the dance floor. Bridges were being built, barriers broken, and a community of incredibly diverse people was forming across race, religion, and a myriad of other differences. Something quite different was afoot here.
But I am from Australia, and I came here 2 years ago, and the first thing I needed to do was to find some friends, and the safest way to do that is to go to a social for salsa. And I realized that I was meeting people that had come from other countries recently as well, so new immigrants, and they're having the same struggles as myself, and I felt that I could relate to the people at salsa more than the people in, say, the office that have been here their whole lives.
Coming from a foreign country to a land where you do not know anyone, and I was greeted by people very warm, in a very warm manner, and I felt at home.
People are from all kinds of places. You get to talk about, where they're from, to cultural backgrounds, all this kind of stuff. It's fascinating, really.
I met quite a number of people here that enrich my life as a friends, as a social, as dancers. For example, like me, I'm from Somalia. We don't have a salsa. Nobody dances salsa in Somalia.
In a city of over 2.8 million people, of which over half come from elsewhere, Toronto is one of the most culturally diverse cities in the world. And in a city of immigrants, a sense of community, belonging, and connection matters. It matters to us individually, and it matters to us collectively. It shapes our experience of the city, improves our quality of life, and provides us with a sense of place. And although we've adopted multiculturalism as a policy and embraced diversity as our city's motto of strength, what does any of it really mean? Without a connected community, one that weaves our various parts together as the TSP does, the true potential of our diversity remains untapped.
More than half of Torontonians are born outside of Canada, right? I mean, we're just naturally, look at how many people, how many languages we speak in the city. So of course, we're multicultural, we're, accessible, we're very, kind of diverse and, welcoming. Not necessarily exposure, that kind of exposure of, different diversity, different groups, not necessarily translate meaningful learning. But learning that you have to be much more mindful, much more purposeful, and much more deliberate.
For someone who never tried salsa dancing, it's definitely, you have to be patient with it. You have to figure out what is in you that you got to give in on the dance floor, because everybody is learning differently and everybody dance differently. Every time I dance, I'm so focused on the new partner and the new skills that I have to cope with or learn or give feedback to. I have no time to analyze their size and their age, and I'm not really seeing or judging who they are. I am just absorbing all the time.
The dance floor is basically a laboratory for relationships. You're sort of mastering the 3-minute relationship, and a lot can happen within that 3 minutes, and you get to know a lot about a person. you can actually, after a while, if you're open to it, you can actually read someone's energy through the dance, through the contact you have with the body, through the way they respond to the music and so on. You can actually learn a lot about somebody through that.
Salsa, it's like kind of mirrors a relationship, and there has to be cooperation that takes place. It's not just what one person gets out of it, what they put into it and what the other person put into it, and then you make something from that.
I'm here, I'm an individual, but I'm also part of this beautiful group that's really this framework for a beautiful canvas, and we're all together and we're putting in all these different colors, and we're really intertwined, and it's nice because that's what, to me, multiculturalism should really be all about. It shouldn't be, there's one group here, there's one group there. It's really, we're all this, thread work intertwined together of the same fabric.
Dance has the power to transcend the differences that separate us and join us at the level of our common humanity. Connected here, there is space for our likeness and differences to coexist, become one, and yet still maintain the distinctiveness of our many parts. A united diversity is emerging, and with it, new ways of relating. A culture of respect, open curiosity, and bolder exploration is allowing our differences to flow freely and define us more fully.
For me, because I come from an artist background, you have to be open to kind of make mistakes, and that's what people can do here, and it's not like you're penalized for making a mistake.
I think the people that come here know there's going to be a mix of all kinds of people, all kinds of levels. It's called Salsa Practice, which keeps it wide open.
To me, that really speaks to what Toronto is about. It's almost like this pioneering aspect of these people coming together and kind of creating their own culture and life and stuff like that.
A lot of places have salsa contests or competitions or something, and we've never had competitions, and that's been a deliberate choice. I feel like there's enough competition in our lives already, and it's nice to have a little refuge where you can cooperate instead of compete.
In the safe space created on the dance floor, we're free to come out and play, express ourselves, mess up, have fun, learn and take risks. And within this play, there's a very important collaboration, experimentation, and innovation taking place. When safety is added to a diverse community, animated with a deeply engaging activity, what you get is a living model of creativity and an embodied process of innovation. Innovation is a process, it's a product, and it can be a culture. Toronto has the ability to be all three. And here on the dance floor, it's who we are at our best, and it holds the key to our future.
Everyone's coming together. There's no prejudices or that kind of thing. It's just a community where everyone can get together, no matter what your economic status is, your social status. It doesn't matter. We're all just dancers there. You can dance with a lawyer, you can dance with a janitor, and we're just people.
I guess it's simple, right? Everybody needs to be connected to another person. We all love something, and I guess dancing is part of the way how people connect to the nature, connect to themselves, and they can be themselves.
How often people tell me that they think the practice builds community, and they use that word, and I've always been surprised that would spontaneously occur to anybody to talk about the practice with that term. I guess it's probably because it does.
If we think multiculturalism is about a bunch of people all getting along together, we're missing the point and falling short of our potential. Far more than a series of cultural festivals or ethnic food stops. Our multiculturalism is about going beyond our differences to the places that unite us all and creating there. The TSP offers us a model. Whether it's our approach to building the city, addressing social challenges, or encouraging entrepreneurship, it's about taking more risks, valuing play, embracing diversity in a similar way to the TSP, a way that capitalizes on both our sameness and differences to produce more than the sum of our parts. We have the people, the space, the safety, and little history to hold us back. But what we're lacking is the fiery chutzpah needed to drive us forward. Other cities with far less are doing it. We can too. It begins with you and me. We have to want it and back it to see it through. And in a world, not just a city, in need of more inventive and considerate ways forward, it's high time we dance this model off the salsa floor and onto the streets. Our economic, social, and cultural future depends on it. So what are we waiting for? What say we have this dance?
Diana mo,